Welcome to a very special 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Dave Siddon, the Executive Director of Wildlife Images. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us a little about Wildlife Images before we get to our very special guest who's making some good eye contact.
Yeah, he's good at that. Wildlife Images has been around about 31 years now, and we're warming up for our annual fundraiser, which should happen in a couple of weeks out at Troon Vineyards. And Defiance, our bald eagle, among other birds of prey and other animals that represent our educational ambassadors at Wildlife Images, will be part of the event like they are every other event at Wildlife Images.
Yeah, and why is Wildlife Images so different from other organizations in that you guys take care of the animals, is that right?
Yes, we do. Basically, no North American wild animals have health care. So we're the only thing around for them. If a bird like this bald eagle were to get shot or hit by a car or poisoned, it's brought into us. State and federal agencies don't have manpower or facility or the expertise to take these guys, patch them back up, and put them back out in the wild. So it depends upon us privateers to raise the money, take care of these animals, and we have to pay vet bills, power bills, like everybody else, to get these guys healthy and strong and back out in the wild where we can all enjoy them.
Tell us a little about Defiance and his story, how you came to
Defiance kind of is a refugee of other facilities. He came into another facility in Idaho, was eventually surplus to a secondary facility that quit operations, and he was sent to us. And he was a little baby guy, and he's still brown and mottled, and a bald eagle like him goes through quite a metamorphosis as they become an adult. His beak typically is kind of a graphite gray when they're young. His eyes are gray. Of course, his head is brown, his tail is brown. And as they mature, at about 7 years old, they're fully adults, and they've got all their white feathers, their yellow beak, the yellow eyes, and all the sort of trappings of a full adult bald eagle. So he's part of our educational program, but we have other bald eagles we have one that came in, Miss Jefferson, that fell out of a tree, broke both of her wings on the way to the ground.
Oh, wow.
And by the time she was found, her bones had been fused together, and there was no chance for us to take the bones and separate them and realign them. Their calcification was too heavy. So she'll be in captivity the rest of her natural life, and we know of one eagle that lived in captivity to be 68 years old, so maybe around. So we're dedicated to these guys, and of course we're there for the long haul.
Indeed. All right, well, we're going to come back after a quick break. We're going to see a very different animal,
Indeed.
A big cat, if you will, and we're going to see that and talk more about the fundraiser in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Dave Siddon from Wildlife Images, and this is Brady.
This is Brady. And Brady is a 5-month-old cougar cub that is part of our educational program. And,
wow.
You know, the cougars are one of the last apex predators left in Oregon today. Wolves, grizzly bears have pretty much been wiped out. So these are the last guys, but unfortunately they're often vilified. A lot of misinformation given out about cougars.
People are scared of them, yeah.
Absolutely. And in reality, you know, the #1 animal that kills humans in the United States are horses and dogs. In fact, in all of the history of Oregon, nobody's ever been killed by a cougar. So
amazing.
Yeah, and bumblebee or bee stings and all sorts of other things can attribute to human deaths, but a lot of hysteria around a big cat like this. But Brady is part of our educational programs. It goes to, we'll go to all kinds of individuals and teach them about cougars and how important they are in the wild of Oregon.
Yeah.
And he's also going to be one of the highlights at our event, our Southern Oregon Experience, coming up June 23rd out at Troon Vineyards. So he'll be one of the highlights of that evening.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Now, is that open to the public?
It is, and if people would like tickets, they can call the Wildlife Images line at 541-476-0222, or they can go to our website, which is wildlifeimages.org, and get tickets there, because it's going to be a wonderful night under the stars. We're going to have live music, we're going to have wine and meal pairings, and we're going to have a night of wildlife with things like Brady and Defiance the Eagle and many others that are going to be part of the entire evening. So it's going to be an extremely unique experience, and one that's probably unique to Southern Oregon.
It's been amazing to see how Brady's come into our studios here. We've got like 15, 20 people behind the cameras right now all watching this. This is very much a kitten. I mean, I know he's only 5 months old, but he's got these big, huge paws.
He has the huge paws. He'll grow into them. And of course, he'll grow up to be 200 to maybe 250 pounds when he's full grown. And a lot of it with a cat like this is when you raise them, you don't play with them like a kitten. You don't want to ever create an atmosphere where it's okay for them to bat you around or take a swipe at you. So unfortunately, even as a little kitten, we have to be pretty serious with Brady and make sure he doesn't think of us as a toy. So we divert him to toys and other things to keep him so he's got this kind of temperament around people all the time.
Okay, all right, and last question. If people are sitting at home and they really want to support you guys are a fantastic organization, but they may not have the funds to do that. Do you guys work with volunteers? Is there anything
we love volunteers and all sorts of capacities. I mean, everything from maintenance to working with the animals to anything. Supplies, materials, goods of all sorts can be donated to help us support wildlife images too. So there's no end to the support we can use. And of course, with the economy the way it is now, it's tougher now to get by than ever, especially for a non-profit like ours.
Yeah, well, Dave, great to see you again. Thanks for coming in. And,
thank you for having us.
Thank you for bringing Brady, this unbelievable animal. So cool.
He's pretty darn neat.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.